Hey guys, it's Maymay, and what kind of title is that? Reasons not to purchase a Cricut? Let me clarify by saying it's also a reasons not to purchase any cutting machine. You're going to learn that in today's video. Recently, I met a friend in town who has a YouTube channel. I didn't even know he had a YouTube channel, and he has a sawmill where he uses technology and his sawmill to cut out these cool pieces of wood and laser cut etching and things like that. And he said, can you believe how many people purchase these expensive machines and then don't know how to use them and then sell them off super cheap because they get frustrated? And I said, you know what's funny? It's the same in my industry with Cricut machines and things like that, or with cutting machines that are so expensive. So many times people purchase them, don't know how to use them, don't know what they were getting into, and then get frustrated and get out of it and really have a bad taste in their mouth for electronic cutting machines. So today I want to help you overcome that, okay? And I want you to go subscribe to my friend Clack. I'm going to put his YouTube in the description. Reason number one not to purchase a cutting machine is this: research. If you don't want to do research, you should not purchase a machine, because I promise you a little bit of research will guide you to the machine you need. So many times we go, oh, I want to do everything it does. Well, you really don't want to do everything the machine does. For example, I don't use my machine to cut wood. I'm not a person who does that. I don't buy the wood that the machine can cut. I don't really pay attention to those projects. I don't have a Pinterest board for Cricut cut wood items, etc. So I don't really need a machine that does that. But let's say I wanted to cut out fabric. Maybe I wanted to make appliques for quilting. I need to do the research to see which machine will do that, right? It's important that you do that research. Don't buy a machine just because you saw someone else use it. Now, on the flip side of that, you're like, well, I did see someone use this machine and for what I'm using it for. Now, listen to this. Here's the caveat, okay? You have to be sure your technology will run that machine. That leads us into number two. The second reason not to purchase a cutting machine or a Cricut. Technology. If you don't like technology, if you're not a person who understands how to use a computer, a tablet, or an iPhone, you will be frustrated. I don't know if you know this, so I might be telling you something you didn't realize, but these machines need an external source of technology to run them. They need a computer, a tablet, an iPhone to run them, okay? And not just any computer will do. There are specs that your computer has to meet to be able to run the machine. Now you're thinking, well, that is so sneaky. I buy this machine and nobody told me that. Nope. Your research can find you that answer. Today we're going to bust some myths too, but your research can find you that answer. If you go to the website of any of these machines, these are Cricut, this is Brother, there's also the Silhouette machine, they have full information telling you what is required from your current technology to run whatever machine you're going to purchase. It's important that you look at that. I tell this story a lot. When I first started teaching Cricut in person, I had a student come in and she brought her computer with her, and it was an old laptop. As a matter of fact, it was a hand-me-down from her grandson who had been in college with that laptop, and it wouldn't update anymore. And this happens. Technology gets old and gets updated as much as it can be, and she had that laptop. And we were so sad because I couldn't even teach her how to use the system. It wouldn't even load. Now, her grandson didn't know. He thought he was doing a great thing. Oh, take my laptop to do it. But no one did the research, and it kind of left her sad. And I bet that's happened to somebody you know. What she did to correct the problem is she bought a laptop that would work. Now, she wasn't really out that much money because the first one was a hand-me-down, but she still had to make a purchase she wasn't expecting. It was either that or send the machine back, and she really wanted to learn the machine. So please, please, please do your research. Research is your best tool to keep from purchasing a machine that you'll be unhappy with. And know this, if you're not a fan of technology, if you don't use technology well, if computers just kind of mess with you, you don't want to touch a tablet for anything, if you don't want to do that, these are not for you. Save yourself the money. Spend the money somewhere else. You will just be frustrated. You'll end up with something that you don't take out of the box. You'll end up with something that sits on a shelf, and it's an expensive toy. It's an expensive shelf sitter. I will say that. So don't spend the money if you don't have the technology for it. On the flip side, if you're willing to purchase new technology, I would go ahead before I purchase my machine and see what I need and make sure that I purchase the technology that works with it. I feel like some people get a little misled. This may be YouTubers' fault. I don't know. I don't believe that the iPad is the thing to lean on. If you have an iPad and you're like, oh, I have an iPad, I can run a Cricut and do whatever I want to. You're limited in functions on the iPad. You have a lot more functionality on a computer or a laptop. Now, why is this? Computers and laptops have a lot more internal workings to give you more external workings. That's the way I'm going to say it. I don't know any other way to say it because I'm not a computer person, but they can do more. They can understand more programming. That's it. They can be programmed more and give you more from that. Okay. The iPad is more limited in what it can do internally. Not that Cricut or Silhouette or anybody's trying to keep functionality from you on the iPad, but it just can't do what a computer can do. And I see so many times it's unfair that people have a computer get it, but people that have an iPad don't. It really doesn't have anything to do with fairness, because I want to ask you a question. Do you think there's a business out there that doesn't want to give you every function they can to run their machine? I just don't believe that's the case. I believe that this tablet cannot do what this computer can do. Now, your argument for that would be, yeah, but iPad used to couldn't do this, but now it can. That's correct. And that leads us to number 3, change. If you don't like change, don't purchase a machine. Here's what I mean by that. Updates, okay? Not only does Design Space update, but your computer systems and your tablets and your phones update. And as they update, they give more functionality to machines and to software, okay? So if you're saying, yeah, but I used to couldn't do this with my tablet and now I can, that's because somewhere there was an update that allowed Cricut to be able to update their software and make it do that thing. You have to think, I don't know, you don't have to think like that, but I just want to clarify that for you. There's no company out there that's trying to keep things from you that they can give you, especially in a free software platform like Design Space. And they're certainly not trying to discriminate, oh, you have a computer and you have a tablet. I promise you it has to do with software and hardware even more than that. Now, I probably should have said this in the beginning of the video. I do not work for any of these companies. I am an affiliate with Cricut, meaning if you purchase something that I link below, I do receive a small commission off of that, but I do not work for Cricut. I'm not an expert. I'm in no way affiliated with these companies. I just want to tell you this information. So you got to know your technology. You got to know that it'll work together, and you got to know that there's going to be change. Now, let's talk a little bit more about change. Here's a complaint I see all the time. All these updates. Why so many updates? Let me tell you something. If you see an update the way I see an update, they excite you. So many people get upset about these updates, but I'm thinking every time I get an update, one of two things is happening. Either a bug is being fixed that I didn't like, or I'm getting a new feature. You can't get new features without updates. So I love all the updates that we get. Now, do they come in inconvenient times? Yes. I'll have a project I need to make. It just happened the other day. I'll give you a good example. We had a lady come in the store and she needed this deer cut for her grandson, and it was his birthday, and she wanted it done but didn't know how to do it. Well, my machine was set up. I said, let me do it for you. So I came back here to do it. She was waiting out front. I was like, this will be 15 minutes. Well, 45 minutes later, I had it done. You know why? I opened Design Space. There was an update that had to be done. It didn't really take that long, maybe 10 minutes, because my Wi-Fi is awful. It did the update and then I did the cut. But it can come in an inconvenient time. So if you don't like updates, this is probably not for you. There's going to be a lot of updates. Number 3 reason to not purchase a cutting machine of any kind is to start a business. Now listen to what I'm telling you. To start a business. Can you start a business from a Cricut machine? You sure can. But never put the Cricut before the cart. That's what we kind of said the other day as a joke. Don't purchase the machine thinking, I'm going to make all these cool t-shirts or all this cool jewelry or all these cool files. As soon as this gets home and I'm going to open my Etsy store and I'm going to put this out there and get orders, and think your business is just going to fly. You could get a lot of orders. You could get 150 orders for something. But if you don't know how to run this machine, you have just opened yourself up for so much frustration, especially if you order the machine without doing all that research I told you about, only to find out you can't use it and you got 150 orders sitting out there. Don't do it. Here's what you need to do. Order the machine. Do the research. Order the machine. Get it in. Play with it. Get to know it. Also, something you can do before you ever purchase the machine, download the software that goes with it. For Cricut, it's Design Space. Download Cricut Design Space, play around with it. You can make full projects in Design Space and not cut them out. So play around, Learn what slice is, learn what weld is, learn what attach is, learn why and when you use those things. Take a class. I have a class that's available to you. We'll link that information below. But learn the machine before you get it, then start your business. Life is so much better when you know how to use your machine, and then you start getting those incredible orders and you have happy customers and a happy store owner. That's what you want. I've lost count on what number we're on. I think this is number 5, so we'll go with that. Breaking in here to ask you to hit that red subscribe button. It's free. Also hit the bell button beside it. You can help me reach my big goal this year of 400,000 subscribers. Okay, back to crafting. Another reason not to purchase a Cricut cutting machine is to save money. Now, hear what I'm telling you. I see so many people who go, ooh, I'm going to get that machine and make all my own t-shirts for all of our events and save money. You're not really going to save that much money. And let me explain why. In order to use these machines and make those projects, you got to order product to do that. And you're thinking, yeah, but I don't have to order, this or this or this. No, you do. You got to order a lot, especially at first. A lot of times to get a really good price on a t-shirt, you can't order one, you got to order 12. Like you have to order in bulk to get that discount. Depending on where you're purchasing from, I know everybody has their place. But what I'm saying is we think we can order this machine and order a t-shirt and some vinyl and put this together and be done. But really that's not always it. Think about this. You're going to have a heat source, some sort of heat press to do that, right? You're going to have some tester vinyl, some that you purchase just to play with. You're going to have to test out designs. Sometimes you have to cut out a design and look at it. You don't have to do that after a while, but especially early on, you might want to cut it out and look at it. So you're going to need paper, maybe test paper to cut something out on. So it's not really saving you money. You're going to be investing more money. But if you're doing this to start a business, any business you start, you have to invest money to start a business. That's how it works. This machine is no different. So I don't want you to purchase it going, oh, I'm going to save all this money. Now, I will tell you this. Over time, your expenditure will get less and less and less because you'll have a stash, right? And you'll have vinyl or you'll have t-shirts or you'll have things built up, whatever you're doing. It could be any project. Once you have a stash, you stop spending as much money. But at first, you're going to have some outgo of cash. Now, this video could get really long and I don't want it to, so I'm going to end with this. I want you to not think, I've got to learn to make everything the Cricut can do, okay? This is how we get ourselves messed up. We go, oh, I've got to make t-shirts and I've got to make mugs and I've got to make this and I've got to make that. No, when you get your machine home, focus on one project. When you make that one project in Design Space, you won't even realize it, but you're learning so much about the software from making one project that when you do branch out into all the other projects, it'll all make sense. So don't overwhelm yourself by having to make everything the Cricut can do at once. Do it one at a time and build on your knowledge base, okay? All right, there you go. I want to know what you want to know in the comments below. Have you got questions? Are you about to make a purchase? Can I help you? Can I keep the frustration down for you? Let me try to do that. Thanks so much for being here today. Please help me reach my big goal of 400,000 subscribers. All you got to do, hit the red button. It's free. Then hit that little bell beside it to get notifications if you'd like to know whenever I upload a video. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope this was helpful. I know it's very different, but I really wanted to bring it out to you because I feel like a lot of people are making purchases and now's the time to know if it's the one you should do. Thanks so much for being here today. And until next time, bye now.